Greg Abbott has called for the removal of Montrose's iconic rainbow crosswalks days after they were restored. We'll discuss this and more of today's top stories. I'm Ernie Manouse. We'll also hear another edition of my award-winning series, InnerVIEWS, in which I talk with director and choreographer, Theater Under the Stars' very own Dan Knechtges. Plus, we'll also learn more about the cabaret-style show A Flamenco Journey from its star, Houston-based flamenco soloist and instructor, María Barceló. And we also want to hear from you. Give us a call or text us at 713-440-8870 or email us at talk@hellohouston.org. You can also watch us on YouTube simply by going to houstonpublicmedia.org.
Hello Houston is made possible in part by founding sponsors John Bradshaw and Kathy Sanders, and by gifts from listeners like you.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Janine Herbst. The Israeli military says it's pulled back in Gaza to a line specified under a ceasefire agreement with Hamas. NPR's Greg Myrie says it's the first phase of President Trump's plan for ending the war in Gaza.
The Israeli military announced at midday that the troops had been repositioned. The move comes just hours after the Israeli government formally approved the ceasefire deal. While the pullback is a crucial first step, Israeli troops are still present in many parts of Gaza and still control just over 50% of the territory. In a statement, the military warned Palestinians to stay away from the troops, saying, quote, "Approaching them endangers your life." The Israeli redeployment means the clock is now ticking for Hamas, which has 3 days to release the 20 Israeli hostages still believed to be alive. Greg Myrie, NPR News, Tel Aviv.
And Trump says he plans to travel to the Middle East on Sunday. New York Attorney General Letitia James says her indictment on mortgage fraud, which she denies, is a continuation of President Trump's, quote, desperate weaponization of the justice system, all because she says she did her job. She sued Trump and his company for mortgage fraud, winning a $450 million civil judgment that was partially overturned. Former federal prosecutor Elie Honig.
We've never seen a president overtly, explicitly, publicly declare, I want these people by name. Letitia James is now the second person on that list who has been indicted, joining Jim Comey. I want these people charged. And it's overtly political. And that's the line that's crossed our.
Speaking there on NPR's Morning Edition. This year's Nobel Peace Prize has been awarded to Venezuela's opposition leader, Maria Corina Machado. NPR's Eleanor Beardsley has more.
Nobel Chairman Jorgen Watner-Friedrich said Machado refused to stay silent and lives in hiding in her own country to fight for democracy. He described the work of her poll-watching organization in Venezuela's presidential race last year.
Despite the risk of harassment, arrest, and torture, citizens across the country held watch over the polling stations. They made sure the final tallies were documented before the regime could destroy ballots and lie about the outcome.
The right-leaning activist is also a staunch supporter of President Trump and has praised the administration's efforts to crack down on drug cartels in Venezuela. Eleanor Beardsley, NPR News, Paris.
President Trump is lashing out at China for introducing new restrictions on exports of rare earths and related technologies, and he's threatening new tariffs on China. He also says he may cancel his planned meeting with President Xi Jinping later this month. That sent Wall Street lower. The Dow is down 554 points, NASDAQ down 452. This is NPR News.
Live from News 88.7 in Houston, I'm Alexandra Hart. Local authorities have identified a man who was suspected of killing 3 different people and then himself on Wednesday. Police say that William Lewis shot and killed a 47-year-old that he had dated on and off in Sugar Land. Then he allegedly went to an auto repair shop in Houston where he shot the owner, whom he had a dispute with. He then shot and killed someone who was recording that incident on the other side of the road. Investigators believe this all began with a domestic disturbance. Fort Bend County Commissioners will vote on a new district map next week. News 88.7's Natalie Weber tells us it comes after months of debate among commissioners and the county's redistricting committee.
Each of the 5 proposed maps contains at least one competitive precinct where neither political party makes up more than 55% of the vote. Republican commissioners have driven the redistricting process. During Thursday's meeting, Democratic County Commissioner Dexter McCoy clashed with Republican County Judge KP George and the Redistricting Committee's chair Jacob Lee.
After this is all said and done, we're going to have to do the business of the
Hey, Celeste, can you hear me?
faith when there has been so much damage already done.
The vote will take place Monday at the Fort Bend County Historic Courthouse. From the Fort Bend County Bureau, I'm Natalie Weber, News 88.7.
Houston Metro says it will remove the rainbow crosswalks in Montrose. They have 30 days to comply after Governor Abbott ordered cities in the state to remove art and messages on roadways, saying political messaging distracts drivers. Christopher Bridges frequently visits the area.
I mean, it seems a little bit petty, I guess, because it's a crosswalk. You can let people walk across or drive across it every day.
Metro says it does not have a cost estimate, nor does it have a set date to remove the crosswalks. They had just been removed last month for construction and reinstated last week. It's 75 degrees on the University of Houston campus. Today's high near 89. This is News 88.7. I'm Alexandra Hart.
Support for NPR comes from NPR stations. Other contributors include Progressive Insurance with its Name Your Price tool, a way to see coverage options based on a driver's budget. Learn more at progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Live from Houston Public Media and News 88.7, it's Hello Houston, an open forum on today's biggest stories affecting Houston and beyond. Call now, 713-440-8870, or let us know your thoughts on today's topics by emailing us at talk@hellohouston.org. And now, Hello Houston with Ernie Manouse, Celeste Díaz Schurman, and Frank Billingsley.
Hello, Houston.
Hello there. If you are watching us on YouTube, which is easy to do, just go to houstonpublicmedia.org. We're streaming right there, or on YouTube itself. You'll look around and you'll say, hey, I see Frank, I see Ernie. Where's Celeste? Have we got news for you? Celeste has the plum assignment today. So we'll get into our headlines in a minute. We'll talk, well, you could talk weather right now, Frank, because of what a great place Celeste is at.
I mean, it's absolutely beautiful out there.
You know, if people question that, you know who can tell us if it's true or not?
Who?
Celeste, who's over in Memorial Park for the Bayou City Arts Festival. Is Frank right? We had to send you out to check the weather.
Perfect. Yeah. Temperatures are probably what, low 70s, maybe mid 70s. It was a really nice morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was this morning when I went outside, there was like almost a chill, I would almost say.
A little bit.
And I really enjoyed that. But if you're watching us, and I started this off, you can see Celeste in the park because of technology. And it looks great there. Explain what's going on. Mm-hmm.
We are just such a staple in the Houston art community, and we're so happy to be out here. We're so happy for the weather, and it's just so happy it's here.
You know, Wendi, why is it important to bring artists like this in this type of environment and to be outside? Is there an element to that when y'all are thinking about planning?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's just so, like you said, organic. I love that word. It's important to bring art to Houston. These artists come from all over the country, so you're just seeing so much diversity, and you get to experience artists that you normally wouldn't because they're from all over.
And I also mentioned how I feel like there's like a lot of little children around. I'm seeing pets, people are out. Talk to me about the family-friendly element, because I think that sometimes people don't connect children and art.
Yes, and we are all about getting children started with art at a young age. So we've got the TJH Active Imagination Zone, and there's going to be our nonprofit partners there. They are hosting arts and crafts for the kids. They can get hands-on with art and start there while the parents are, looking, collecting, and buying.
And tell me a little bit about, I was reading about the Bayou City Art Festival, and you guys have been around 50 plus years. What does that mean to be able to provide this type of event for Houstonians?
Oh, it just means so much. I feel just so grateful, like I said, that we are a staple, that we've been here for so long. We have such a strong history, and some of these artists out here have been here since the 70s when it was the Westheimer Art Colony Festival.
Okay, so if it's my first time coming, where should I go? What is your favorite spot that it's a must pop in?
Okay, so you have to go see Jonah. Obviously, Jonah Ballard, he is our featured artist. You're gonna see his art all throughout the festival already, but you have to go meet him, experience his work in person. It's truly incredible.
Well, this is Wendi Meisberger. She's the art relations manager here for the Bayou City Arts Festival. As she mentioned, Jonah Ballard is the featured artist, and we're going to be in the second hour having a chit chat with him and what that means to be essentially the featured artist at an event like this. Well, and I'm going to send it back to you guys.
I was going to say, being out at the park, you get to be our featured host today because you got the good assignment.
Not going to lie, I think I definitely got the better assignment today. But you know, we've been talking a lot about different events and things that happen within our city, and we have such an amazing community here in Houston where there's a lot to do. And also coming up, we're going to be talking about last minute plans. But I'm going to send it back to you guys.
All right, go hunt out some more art for us, and we'll talk to you in a little bit.
It looks like great fun.
Sounds
That's
good.
A very fun festival.
Yeah, and it looks like the weather. I mean, she couldn't have gotten a better day to be outside.
October is pretty safe. You know, my golf tournament is Monday and should be pretty safe. We've never, in 15 years, never had a rain out on my golf tournament. Came close one year, but never a rain out in 15. But we've either been in April or October, and those are pretty reliable.
I emceed the Houston Pride Parade for maybe it was 18 years, maybe a little more. We never got rained out. Well, it was in June, but what would happen is it might rain during the day, but by the time the parade hit, every year, never got rained.
The one year that Kevin and I were the Grand Marshals, honorary Grand Marshals, was 2013. It was 109 degrees.
Did it rain?
No.
I rest my case.
I mean, it was
so
hot. So hot.
We got a lot of hot topics on today's show.
We do. I'm steamed about one of them. You can imagine.
Coming up in a little bit, we're going to be talking with Dan Knechtges from Theater Under the Stars. We're also going to take you on a flamenco journey. We'll explain more about that as we get to it. But usually I turn to Celeste and ask her to read the headlines, but I'm going to read the first headline for us today. First one is, it's something we've been talking about a lot on the show, and we've got an update on it. Late Wednesday, Houston's Metro announced it will remove the rainbow crosswalks at Westheimer and Taft, saying the move is necessary to comply with federal road regulations. You heard a little about that in the news at the top of the hour. The announcement came soon after Texas Governor Greg Abbott directed municipalities to remove political ideology from roadways. The crosswalks had just been reinstated here in Houston following a construction project, sparking criticism and calls for their removal from conservative voices. Metro acknowledged the crosswalk's importance to the community and explained it had restored the design after construction, but given the new directive, it says it will restripe the intersections to meet federal design and safety standards. When we mention federal, it's because earlier this year, the U.S. Department of Transportation sent a letter to governors calling for the removal of political messaging and artwork from public roadways, and later clarified that rainbow crosswalks fall under that category. Now, according to a memo from TxDOT to the city of Houston, that the cities and counties are being given 30 days to remove such non-compliant road markings. So, what do you think about this complying with TxDOT or the rainbow politically messaging? Is it right? Not right? Give us a call. Share with us, 713-440-8870. Frank, thoughts?
Oh, well,
I think we know what you think.
What's the political message? I don't understand what the political message is. It says we are here. We want to be visible. We want to be out and proud. And this is one way of showing it. It's been there forever. So now it's a problem. And what kind of a distraction is it to drivers?
First of all, that part of the problem was my question about it's a distraction to drivers. I don't think most drivers notice it except to notice, hey, look, they have a rainbow crosswalk. I don't think it's caused any accidents. But on the other side of it, it's the idea and what they are saying on the federal level and also statewide level is it's any political messaging. So it doesn't matter what it is, you shouldn't be putting those in the road. If they uphold that principle across the board, I think I'm fine with it. Put the monuments on the side, put them on the buildings that face the road, however you want to do it, if that's what they're claiming. Though Metro has said that no federal dollars were used to do this,
right?
That it was Metro funds that were local funds and local municipalities, local folks wanted that there.
So let me ask you this, and I don't want to ruffle feathers, you know.
You don't.
But there's a 200-foot cross down in Pearland on the side of the road, basically. Mm-hmm. It's very distracting. Mm-hmm. I actually like it, but I can't help but look at it when I'm driving. Mm-hmm. And I've driven to Galveston at night, in the afternoon, in the morning, all times of day, and you see this big white cross, and it's distracting. Mm-hmm. It was built with local funds, I think maybe on private property. But if we're going to not separate church from state these days, and apparently we're not, it's a political message. It says, just like the crosswalk, we're here, we want to be visible. We're not trying to make you a Christian, but we want you to know we are Christians, and we're very proud of that. Just like we're trying to say we are gay, and we're very proud of that. The messaging is identical to what we're trying to get out there.
But I think you brought up what the difference is, and what the point is it could be on private property. If it's on private property, you have a right on your property to post what you believe. The question here is this is public property. It's TxDOT run and overseen. And so should you be using it for political messaging?
So everybody can paint their driveway in a rainbow flag?
I showed you what one of my neighbors said, that our little area in front of our townhouses, he was like, let's paint a rainbow down through there.
It would be interesting to see what HOA authority has on this, because a lot of the communities that have strong HOAs, they're pretty much in charge of their roads.
Right.
And they can certainly paint them with whatever they want.
Well, but also on the side note of that, I've seen an HOA who won't let you have a red door on your house.
Right, or an American flag in the front yard. I've seen that.
You know what? You've heard us yammering on about what we think. 713-440-8870. Clyde wants to join the conversation. He's calling in from Montrose. Hello, Clyde. What's on your mind?
Hi, yeah. This is the first I've heard of this, and I just think it's ridiculous. And I was curious to know, you mentioned, Frank, that it was a federal mandate, that then doesn't the state have the ability to adhere to it or not?
Well, the governor's all for it. The governor's all for it.
And so the governor, so that's what triggered the state having to do it. And then I believe Westheimer is an actual highway. Is that the case?
You know,
under TxDOT?
It probably was. You know, Westheimer used to go to the Westheimer farm from downtown, which is where Lamar High School is. That was the Westheimer farm. So I think at some point it sort of became a highway to Katy, didn't it? Originally, a Westheimer all the way out. I think so. You may be right, but I'm not sure what the point is.
Right.
The point is, I find it.
Yeah. No, please continue.
I guess I just find it odd that they would have jurisdiction over what could be placed in that road, as far as this what the city wanted to do,
right? But as the
which
story
they have done, and
as the story stated, the governor did jump in, and he was directing municipalities to follow the guidelines and to remove all political ideology from roadways. So the state now has signed off on it. If it had just come down from the federal and the state didn't sign off for it, who knows?
And I think Austin, San Antonio, Dallas, all of their crosswalks are also going to be painted over. I know in Florida, they've gotten rid of the one in Orlando that was in front of Pulse where the massacre occurred at Pulse nightclub. Tampa has lost theirs. Key West, Florida, has been that one has been painted over. So, you know what? Maybe we go with just something that we know is what. Let's just go with a nice lavender stripe. It's easy to replace if it gets painted over. You just replace it with another lavender stripe, and because a rainbow flag that's $5,000 to $20,000 easy. So you can't just replace it all the time. Yeah. But you could take a roller and put a lavender stripe down the road.
Well,
no problem.
you shouldn't be going out there and painting on the roads yourself. So, Clyde, quick question for you. You say you live in Montrose. Do you drive by this crosswalk, and have you found it distracting?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
And I'm at El Tiempo frequently.
El Tiempo probably is more distracting than the crosswalk, I would say.
Yeah, there's plenty that's distracting in Montrose, and it's not a crosswalk.
Clyde, thank you very much for calling and sharing your thoughts. 713-440-8870. Michael from West Houston is on the line. Michael, what do you think?
Well, good morning. First-time caller, long-time listener. Look, it's like this. I like the crosswalk, whether it's Black Lives Matter or the rainbow, whatever, it's better than looking at black and white. But my comment is, I grew up in Arkansas and watching people drive around with Confederate battle flag painted all over their trucks, flying the flag all the time, and that's a political statement from a failed insurrection.
Thank you.
So I personally think it's stupid what they're doing.
I didn't think of that. Absolutely. Confederate flags, should they be allowed to be on roadways? So if you put one on your truck?
Right, but once again, the difference is the roadways are public property overseen by the government. Your personal car and vehicle, how you decorate it, as long as it doesn't impede your driving ability, I think therefore is free. So that's where it becomes iffy there. But it's a good point, Michael, and thank you for sharing that with us.
So there's an email we got that the origin of the crosswalk is in memory of a young man killed in a biking accident in 2016.
Yes.
That's not political. That's none of Abbott's business. Also, being gay is not a political ideology and, in fact, crosses all ideologies. It is an innate attribute, just like being redheaded or left-handed. And then there is this. The federal guidelines being referenced, and notice this statement below, which supports making crosswalks more noticeable, just not distracting. And it includes this statement: high-visibility crosswalks. Promotes high-visibility crosswalks using patterns like ladder or continental markings to improve pedestrian visibility and reduce crashes. So if a rainbow flag doesn't do that, Ernie, I don't know what does.
That's quite an email and well thought out.
From DJ Jecker. Thank you, DJ.
Yes, DJ, thank you for sharing that with us. Let's grab another call, 713-440-8870. Cynthia from Kingwood, what's on your mind?
Hi, good morning. I'm with Frank. I am totally against this taking over of the rainbow crosswalks by the governor. For me, when I'm thinking about this, it's no different than them forcing public schools to put the 10 Commandments in classrooms. We pay our taxes for these roads. We pay our taxes for these school buildings as well. I just see this as Abbott doing Trump spitting, being his MAGA lapdog, and it's just more white Christian nationalism trying to destroy any diversity in this country.
Yeah. Cynthia, thank you.
Yeah, and I go back to the fact, thank you, Cynthia. It's not that I am supporting or denouncing this move. I'm just trying to point out, if it is distributed fairly across all ideologies, if absolutely no statements of any sort can be put on the roads, then that's the rule.
I don't know of any other statement that's put on the roads.
Right, but if, in fact, they allow other messaging on public roads, then I do have an issue with it. But then I go back to the email we got. Yeah. Yes, if the idea is to make them more noticeable, to reduce, and I would love to see, you know me, I love my stats. I would love to see if, since those colored rainbow crosswalks went in place, did it reduce accidents? And
we should ask Robert Arnold. He's done at Channel 2. He's done a lot of stories just on the most dangerous intersections in Houston. Yeah. And I don't think that that's ever been on his list, but we could ask him.
Okay, well, you know who we're going to ask the next question to? It's 713-440-8870. Dwayne is on the line from Spring. Dwayne, how are things out in Spring?
It's spring. I can't wait to move back into Montrose area.
I like Old Town Spring. That's a charming place.
Yeah. So, Dwayne, what's on your mind about our
for
topic?
about a day, and then
Oh, yeah.
That's everything in life. So what's on your mind?
Yeah, really. I came of age in Montrose. I'm 61 years old, and I remember when Mary's was down there and going to the parades when it was down there and everything else. And I consider myself a devout ally of that community. However, I think it's going to be very, very difficult in this political climate to change things unless we have, civil action and just repaint the crosswalks. However, I was just going to raise a question. How hard would it be to get historic designations for different areas to make things loud and proud in those areas, since historically that's what created those areas before the current regentrification?
Oh, interesting point, Dwayne.
I just find it so tiresome, Dwayne. Yeah. I mean, I'm 65, so I have you beat by 4 years. And I feel like I have fought my whole life to be noticed and to be out and to be proud. And a simple crosswalk that has the rainbow flags that's been there for 10 years.
Yeah.
And they'll suddenly, it's distracting. We're just going to paint over it. I think it's crappy.
Well, that's what Frank thinks. That's what Dwayne thinks. Let's find out what Tracy thinks. She's going to be our last call on this subject right now. It's 713-440-8870. Tracy, make it good.
Okay. Well, I'm going to contra here a little bit.
Okay, please do.
And Frank, I'm going to Galveston, by the way, headed to Galveston. We'll have a place. But so
well, they have a crosswalk right there in front of City Hall, a rainbow crosswalk, right there on Rosenberg.
Well, you better not tell the governor. Anyway,
well, I know. I should shut up, right?
Shh. Okay, Tracy, tell us what you're thinking.
Here's the thing. Let's, I can see your outrage, but let's suppose for a brief moment in time or a period of time, a conservative mayor or more conservative, city decided they want to put a Trump MAGA sign on a crosswalk. Now, there would be almost equal amount or more people outraged about that. So once you open that little Pandora box, then you have to deal with all the opinions that are on either side of it.
Well, he wants to put his likeness on a coin, both sides. He wants to put his statue on Mount Rushmore. I have seen on my way to Helena, Arkansas from Little Rock, there's a flag. I mean, it's the size of my house that is a Trump flag right there on a farm. And you know what? I'm okay with that flag. If that's what somebody wants to put out there, I'm okay with it. Just like I'm okay with the cross in Pearland. I'm a Christian, and I like that cross. But I think what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And if you're going to start, pointing and saying you've got to get rid of that because it's a distraction, which it isn't. We've already talked about that. And it's some sort of political messaging when all it is to say I want to be visible and I want to be seen. And it's a nice way to recognize someone who died at that intersection, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. I would say too, also, Tracy, what I would shift on that thought-wise a little bit, as opposed to some messaging about Trump, which just becomes very political in an endorsement-y type of way. If somebody painted across a crosswalk, Jesus loves,
I would love that.
Would you
yes.
feel the same? Yeah. So
if the community's okay with it, I'm okay with it.
Right.
And nobody in Montrose is out there protesting this. It's the governor. Okay, one of my dear friends that I've known forever is calling in. Ellen Cohen, former city council member.
And I call her mom.
Hello, Ellen. Help me. Help me, Ellen. Help me.
First of all, explain what you meant by you call me mom.
Oh, we were in a play
so
many years ago.
Know.
We were in a fundraising play many years ago, and she played my mom in the show. Now I think I could play her dad. But anyway.
So what's your take on this? We have a little time, but I want to give it to you.
I just wanted to say that I was in office, and Montrose is my district, when we did paint the rainbow crosswalk. I mean, we were the ones that put it up there. Now Abby, council member Kamen is in her district. I mean, we thought about all these things. What we thought we were doing was honoring the memory of a gentleman that had been killed, and that the crosswalk itself, rather than being a distraction, it would catch someone's eye as they were coming near it and try and slow down so that, in fact, we didn't have accidents. And we had and by the way, it wasn't the city or the state that paid for it. It was Pride. And, they raised the money, and we put the crosswalk in, and frankly, everybody seemed to be quite happy with it.
Yeah.
Well, I thank you for doing that when you did it. And if you want to lead, we have to stand up. We can't just sit down and wait for somebody else to say, wait a minute, this is wrong, because this is wrong. And people need to get out there and make phone calls and quietly, peaceably protest.
Ellen Cohen, former city council member, thank you for calling in. Come visit us on the show sometime live. Come in studio.
Let's talk in here.
I'd love to. Give me a shout.
Okay, we will do. And that's going to bring us to the end of this segment right now. Just because we have so much more, I want you all to know today is World Mental Health Day, and it's National Walk to a Park Day. So go for a walk.
Celeste did.
Right. She's in the park. We'll hear more from Celeste in a bit. Coming up, we're going to talk with Tony-nominated choreographer and director Dan Knechtges. This is News 88.7. You can protect your right to know what's going on in our world right now with a donation to Houston Public Media. And right at this moment, that gift is doubled. This is your opportunity to support the trusted reporting that you rely on to make the decisions you make every day. Don't wait. Get your donation doubled right now. Yes, we're doing a match. Do it while you still can. Visit HoustonPublicMedia.org/donate. Or give us a call at 888-909-0887. I'm Ernie Manouse.
It's double day.
It's double day.
I'm Frank Billingsley. Here's a fun reason to give today. When you make your $60 gift today, which I presume will be doubled, right? Mm-hmm. So it'd be $120. And you select tickets to News and Brews at St. Arnold Brewing Company on February 17th, 2026. That's one of our big get-togethers. I'll be there along with Ernie and Celeste and our producers and a lot of our staff. And it's a conversation. We have a few beers, a few bites, connect with not only the Hello Houston team, but our fellow Houstonians. So come on and do that. $60 gift today and click on News and Brews at St. Arnold Brewing Company for February 17th, 2026. We're at HoustonPublicMedia.org/donate or 888-909-0887.
The big thing to keep in mind right now, though, and we know you wait for this, it is your opportunity to double the impact for trusted independent journalism to Houston Public Media. Your gift of $200 automatically becomes $400. You don't have to do anything more. Even a $5 a month sustaining membership becomes $10 a month for the entire year. But you have to act fast. I'm talking so fast I can't even say act fast.
Today's the day.
Today's the day. You can go HoustonPublicMedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887.
Houston Public Media in partnership.
Want to binge All Creatures Great and Small, catch up on Nova, or revisit Ken Burns' documentaries? You can with PBS Passport. With a gift of $5 or more per month to Houston Public Media, you'll get access to PBS Passport that lets you watch your favorite programs anytime you want. Support the programs you love and enjoy them on your own schedule with PBS Passport. Make your gift now at HoustonPublicMedia.org/donate.
Now is the time to give at HoustonPublicMedia.org/donate.
Support for Houston Public Media comes from Terry Bryant Accident and Injury Law, sponsor of Hispanic Heritage Moments, committed to helping Houston injury victims get justice since 1985. Details at terrybryant.com.
Support comes from Elmore, communicating with clarity and inspiration, collaborating with executive leadership to create expert internal and external communications strategy. Elmore, listen, clarify, communicate. More at elmorepr.com.
And now back to Hello Houston. To comment on any of today's topics, call 713-440-8870 or email us at talk@hellohouston.org. Now back to Ernie Manouse, Celeste Díaz Schurman, and Frank Billingsley.
Leading one of Houston's premier institutions for musical theater, Dan Knechtges is a Tony-nominated choreographer and director who, since 2017, has served as artistic director for Theater Under the Stars, Houston's longtime home for large-scale musicals and theater education. Raised in Ohio, Dan was not, as they say, born in a trunk on the Broadway stage, but his talents would lead him there, where his choreography and directing brightened theaters far and wide. Now, in just 2 weeks, Theater Under the Stars will open a new version of the show that really started it all for Dan Knechtges, the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. I recently had a chance to sit down with Dan to find out what sparked his imagination at the beginning of it all. Here now, in an excerpt from the newest episode of my series InnerVIEWS with Ernie Manouse, is Dan Knechtges.
It's not pivoting, but I'm gonna guide to something else that I think. Maybe it doesn't make great theater artists, but I think it instills or lights the fire and keeps the fire burning, which is I was so curious, and I still am, even though I'm a little more cynical about all of that now, but I think that is really the key, is that you have to be so curious about everything. And my parents, whether they knew they were doing a good job or not, allowed me to be me and allowed me to be curious. So it wasn't like I had to go to theater camp. It wasn't like I had to do voice acting, dancing lessons. I wanted to. They made me want it. They didn't push any of it. I pushed it all. And so like there were things like I would take by myself, I would take the RTA into downtown Cleveland Public Library, and get maybe 30 records. I think that was the limit. You could check out 30 records. And I got 30 cast albums. And on my brother's hi-fi, he had a double-decker tape deck, which was rare for us at least. And I would play the record, I would write down, and I would tape, and I had maybe 1,000, 1,500 tapes of original cast albums that I knew backwards and forwards. So by the time I got to college, I knew the repertory when I was singing that, but it's now even those kinds of things have paid off in droves in my life. Like I can rattle off, I can't remember my own name half the time, but I know who did Whoop Up, the musical that closed in like the 50s that was like a one-night flop. And that is nuts. And it's because I was curious about all of these things. I roller skated all the time when I was young, and my parents didn't stop me.
I wonder how that paid off.
I was a champion baton twirler, and my parents didn't say no. And I had a few lessons, but I basically taught myself. That paid off. And one of the shows we're doing, I'm going to teach the person that's playing this part in Spelling Bee how to twirl baton. Yeah. And it's because I was curious about all of those things. History, I read nonstop. And it was like bizarre things, like everything from Lord of the Rings to like the history of the fall of the Russian Empire into the Soviet regime. I mean, what kid does that? And nobody, well, I'm sure people judged me, but I didn't care. And I think that's part of setting the quote unquote stage for any artist, is that I definitely think you have to be curious about it, because it wasn't work to me. It was joy.
Right. But then when you talk about arts education, it's almost as though what you're saying is it's just education. It's learning about the world we live in and that desire to know something. How do you see where we're at today, especially when it comes to arts education, what we're losing by not sparking these flames?
I think part of it too isn't just quote unquote arts education, band, choir, art. I mean, we had art every single year for like, I think my whole, until I got to high school, 8 years of school. Yeah. I don't think they have that now. And then in the summers you would go crafting at whatever summer camp. I mean, I don't think anybody has that to like, it kind of instills these skills in you, not necessarily being a good painter or sculptor or whatever, but you're observing the world, and in their own way, those artists are putting themselves in the shoes of their subject, or whether it's a landscape or anything, no different than an actor trying to build empathy to put themselves in the shoes of a super flawed character. Mama Rose, you know, the best characters are those flawed characters. And I think arts education, or education as a whole, part of it too, I think, you know, well-meaning people were trying to get the standards up in whatever, and so people are teaching to standards rather than a liberal arts education. Not liberal or conservative, but liberal meaning that a broad spectrum of all of these different disciplines adds to a well-rounded human in our society. And the arts started that way. They wanted to create an informed citizenship. And I'm just going to say it was even before the Greeks, but the Greeks perfected that, is that you had to participate in theater to be a part of the democracy. And there's very good reason for that, because it builds empathy and understanding of the human condition. And right now, there is that is not even slowly being whittled away. I don't know if it's there anymore. I mean, of course it's there, but I think that is where we're seeing the loss of that fundamental liberal arts liberal arts education, but from many perspectives. Right. Mathematics, science suffers when they can't read War and Peace, or a music composition will suffer because you don't know Pythagoras' theorem and how expressive mathematics can be. And that kind of dialogue between the disciplines, not only between you and I as artists, but inside yourself, and you working that out, is incredible. And I'm going to say one other thing. My best arts education was nobody in the arts. It was, well, they sort of were in the arts, was my AP English teacher, Vicky Rutherford. Best teacher I ever had. She instilled in me reading, you know, you would read a book and she would pinpoint something you had to write about. And there were no answers. And you would write, and you had to come up with your theories and your interpretation of the world. And at that time, there was no AI chat, there was no Wikipedia, so you had to come up with it yourself. And everybody got F's and D's the first time around, and it was so hard, as we were like all, you know, type A kind of personalities. And by the end of that, we were very, very, very problematic thinkers, and thinking about the world and interpreting art in a way that I will thank her till the day I die. I mean, it really instilled in me the best arts training I had. And that wasn't even in the arts, to your point.
Right, yeah. I went to a Jesuit university, went to Loyola University, not Catholic, but went there for that kind of open education of all the different disciplines. And when you're talking about that, I think of our ancient history teacher who had us read books of those periods. And it wasn't about what they had written. It was, we were supposed to look through them at the things that the author took for granted we understood, so they didn't explain it, so you could understand the world in which they lived. And it helped to make me more of a critical thinker about why do you say that? You assume I know what you mean, that why? What's the world you live in? Right. And I think that's so important. And then the arts gives us that chance.
I also had a great teacher in college. I don't even remember the name, but the class was non-Western religion. Sounds simple enough, but I go in and, you know, we're learning all about Christianity. Got it in the bag. I grew up Catholic. I was like, oh, I know all of this Jesus stuff. And then you start hearing about these splinter things and studying those. And you're like, huh? Really? And then we get to Judaism. I was like, I got this in the bag. I know more Yiddish from Funny Girl than anybody. And I'm like, I know Fiddler on the Roof like the back of my hand. And then the first thing is like, oh, there is no heaven. And I was like, what? There are people that don't believe in that? And I didn't do it as, I'm not saying that as a, pejorative. I'm actually saying that as like, boy, that cracked open. Like there is a world out there of people still, like I know a lot, but I don't know even half of what is out there still.
Yeah. Under the Stars artistic director, Tony-nominated choreographer and director Dan Knechtges. The full interview is available on our Houston Public Media YouTube channel. Just look for InnerVIEWS with Ernie Manouse, Dan Knechtges. Theater Under the Stars production of the 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee from October 21 to November 2nd runs at the Hobby Center. For more information, visit tuts.org. And by the way, Theater Under the Stars is a proud supporter of Houston Public Media. Coming up, we're going on a Flamenco Journey. Stay with us as Hello Houston continues. All right, we have a special opportunity happening right now, and it is a big deal. For only 18 minutes, every single donation is doubled. So that means your $10 becomes $20. If you give $100, it becomes $200 for Houston Public Media. It's simple. Whatever amount you give, it'll go twice as far to support fact-based news and programs you can count on every day. But this chance won't last long, so please don't wait. It's just till the top of the hour. So give now at HoustonPublicMedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887. I'm Frank Billingsley.
And I'm Ernie Manouse. Federal funding cuts have put pressure on Houston Public Media, but there's something simple you can do. Give to Houston Public Media today. It's quick, it's easy, and it helps protect the NPR news, the conversations, the culture you trust. And right now, we're doubling it. So do it right now. Give at HoustonPublicMedia.org/donate or give us a call. 888-909-0887.
And who doesn't love a good party? Your $60 gift allows you to select tickets to News and Brews at St. Arnold Brewing Company on February 17th, 2026. That's a fun gathering for drinking, a little beer, a few light bites, some conversation with me and Ernie and Celeste and the rest of our newsroom. So I can't wait to celebrate with you. Please give now at HoustonPublicMedia.org/donate or call us 888-909-0887.
You know, they want me to talk about the weather. I should let you talk about this. But when the skies turn dark, our newsroom shows up. Their drive during hurricanes is unparalleled. They stay overnight during floods right here in our newsroom, not for the headlines, but for you, to bring life-saving updates, accurate information, and calm when everyone else feels uncertain. They do it for Houston. They do it for you, and you can help us do it too. Just give right now at HoustonPublicMedia.org/donate or give us a call, 888-909-0887.
And you know, Harris County Office of Emergency Management will tell you that they were highly dependent on our broadcast during Hurricane Beryl. So we really are there for you. The station is here for moments that matter. The quiet ones, the urgent ones, the stories that stay with you, the news you trust to guide you. Houston Public Media is part of your life because someone gave. And now it's your turn. Your gift keeps this service strong for your neighbors and your community. Give from the heart today at HoustonPublicMedia.org/donate or give us a call, 888-909-0887.
One of the most popular things for our community on our calendar every year is News and Brews, and it sells out. So make your $60 gift today and get, as a thank you gift, tickets to News and Brews at St. Arnold's Brewing Company and mark it in your calendar, February 17th, 2026. I'll be there along with the whole Hello Houston team, and our newsroom will be there enjoying brews and bites and conversations with listeners like you. It's your chance to meet the hosts and the newsroom behind the stories you depend on. So don't wait. Make your gift right now at HoustonPublicMedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887.
Next time on Climate One.
We know you value Houston Public Media. That's why you're watching right now. So take the next step and become a new member of the station you rely on. Every gift makes a difference. And what matters most right now is supporting the station that brings you the news and information you rely on. It only takes a minute to make a big difference. So join as a new member today at HoustonPublicMedia.org/donate or call 800-364-8300.
From Houston Center for Contemporary Craft, presenting Craft Texas 2025, a juried show featuring work by nearly 50 Texas artists in a variety of media. More at crafthouston.org.
We're grateful that you're tuning in to Hello Houston.
You're here because of the hosts, the chemistry, and the variety of voices and stories you hear every day.
This kind of radio doesn't just happen. It's made possible by listener support. That means you. Help keep the conversation going.
Now is the time to give at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate.
Support comes from Berkman International, providing insights into workplace dynamics and individual needs to help organizations develop talent, improve communication, strengthen retention, and drive innovation. More at berkman.com/connect.
Support comes from John Moore, helping with plumbing, electrical, and air conditioning repairs, including out-of-warranty units since 1965. Details at 730-2525 or at johnmooreservices.com.
Support for Houston Public Media comes from Good Reason Houston, working to ensure every child in every Houston neighborhood has access to a strong public school that prepares them for opportunities and a living wage after graduation. More at goodreasonhouston.org.
And now back to Hello Houston. Call now, 713-440-8870, or email us at talk@hellohouston.org to get your comment in on today's topics. Here's Ernie Manouse, Celeste Díaz Schurman, and Frank Billingsley.
For the next 2 nights, the Hobby Center will present the cabaret-style show, A Flamenco Journey, as part of its Live at the Founders Club series. This show, which stars Houston-based flamenco soloist and instructor María Barceló, explores the evolution of flamenco through its encounters with Latin American cultures and musical traditions. And to tell us more about A Flamenco Journey, please welcome flamenco soloist and instructor María Barceló and the show's musical director, Jesús Pacheco. Ana, Jesús, welcome to Hello Houston.
Good morning.
It's so glad to have you here. This sounds like a ball of fun.
Yes.
So tell me about it.
So Flamenco Journey, in Spanish we call it Flamenco en Travesía, is a show that explores the evolution of flamenco and its journey through the Atlantic in the Americas. So in the 19th-20th centuries, a lot of Spaniards went to America, and they got influenced by the rhythms and also the traditions that were in America, and then they brought back to Spain all that fusion, right?
Yeah. I guess, really quickly, I wonder, so many of us, when we think flamenco, the first thing that comes to mind is like the Addams Family and the tango that they do. So,
yeah.
What do we get wrong about this art form, and
A
what
lot.
can we learn from coming to your show? Oh, my God.
Yeah, I mean, I think there is a confusion that TV has created of like this mix between salsa, mariachi, tango, the guitar, trumpet situation, right? Like the music on the background of Hell's Kitchen when they do the Latin night, you know? And it makes sense, you know, that I guess the passion of flamenco derives from tango in many ways, but it is not the same. If we think about the gypsies in Spain, the Gitanos, and the way they took flamenco as a flagship, they made it very theirs. It was really particular, and these were the people that were traveling to the Americas because they were doing jobs that no one else wanted to do. The sailors. If you know any Spaniards like myself, we don't move shop easily, you know, away from Spain. So in other ways, this is how the influence starts. This is where the influence comes from the Caribbean, from many different places. At the same time, rhythms from Spain also influence mariachi music, joropo music in Venezuela, and many other genres, the 3-against-2, these kind of harmonies, the guitar that we brought on ships, right? And so it makes sense that there is a confusion. But flamenco, it's an art on its own.
So the cha-cha, yes or no?
The cha-cha, no. However, and the cha-cha is part of the salsa music, right? Which is interesting. Many of the salsa genres are actually created in New York, here in the U.S., which a lot of people from the United States don't really know.
Okay, so 2 nights. Is the audience going to immerse themselves in this? Well, is there participation? Is it?
I hope not.
Well,
we'll let you.
Well,
it's a surprise. I
for it.
cannot tell, but the idea of this show, also, we are celebrating this month, right? The Hispanic Heritage Month.
Right.
So the idea of this show is that they enjoy our flamenco, because it will be obviously also flamenco, traditional flamenco. but we'll explore those rhythms, right? But that they have an idea of how, because we will explain about, it's not only seeing a show, they will have also like we will talk about where this style comes from. Yeah, so that people, it's not only seeing a show and why I'm seeing this, you know.
And I always imagine that there's a lot of colorful costumes with flamenco.
Yes.
I mean, is that by accident or is that just by design?
Well, in flamenco, you dress depending on the style that you're dancing. So in flamenco, those styles, we call them palos flamenco. So there are rhythms, right, or styles that are very joyful. So you dress more with flowers, polka dots, or there are others that are a little bit more somber or sad, and then you dress, yes. Yeah. So it also the props, right? If you use a fan, or it depends on the style that you're dancing.
So who came up with all of this?
Well, the show conception, when the Hobby Center called us to do the show, we were like, well, it's Spanish Heritage Month, and they said, can we do something? And Ana immediately thought, okay, back and forth. We call these palos the ida y vuelta, right? Because they came back and forth from the U.S. to Spain and so on. So we're doing the palos that are influenced by that, like the Vidalita, which is Argentinian influence. We're doing Alegrías, which because of Cádiz and La Habana, it has a lot of influence with Caribbean rhythms and things like this too. Guajiras, which is also of Cuban influence. Rumba, which is also more end of the 20th century with the salsa tradition, actually. And we're doing some flamenco jazz as well. So we're bringing it all the way to the 20th century in the more advanced ways of doing flamenco.
Well, we are excited for it. Can't wait to see it. Want you to enjoy it. And if people want to get a little taste of this kind of art form, where do you recommend they go outside of coming to see your show? Where is a nice place to learn about this?
Well, you see other shows or?
Just in general, online. Where's some place for people to begin this education? I give you 10 seconds to answer.
Okay, so I'm going to be sincere. Here in Houston, we don't have that many places that we can enjoy flamenco.
So you got to come to your show.
Yes, and follow Ana María Barceló Flamenco.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that sounds good. Ana María Barceló, a Houston-based flamenco soloist and instructor starring in A Flamenco Journey, and Jesús Pacheco is the show's director. Thank you both for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
We really appreciate it. Runs tonight, October 10th, and tomorrow night, October 11th, at the Hobby Center. Coming up, we'll continue diving into today's top stories. Another check-in with Celeste at the Bayou City Art Festival. Stay with us for the second hour of Hello Houston. All right, protect your right to know what is going on in our world with a donation to Houston Public Media. And right now, that gift is doubled. We have 5 more minutes. Double the gift, double the fun. This is 5 more minutes. This is your opportunity to support the trusted reporting that you rely on to make decisions every day. So please don't wait. Get your donation doubled right now while you still can. You can visit us at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate. or call 888-909-0887. I'm Frank Billingsley.
And I'm Ernie Manouse. I'm going to update your math. You have less than 2.5 minutes to do this. So if you're not already a member, there's no better time than right now to make that additional gift. Just go online right now. The power to ensure that Houston Public Media continues to bring you the information you need is in your hands. So please give now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887.
And you can support us with a $60 gift and choose tickets to News and Brews at St. Arnold Brewing Company on February 17th, 2026. You can join the Hello Houston team for an evening of conversation, tasty bites, and craft brews. It's your chance to really meet the people behind the mic and celebrate the journalism you rely on every day. So make your gift now. HoustonPublicMedia.org/donate or give us a call. 888-909-0887.
Stay tuned. There's more Hello Houston on the way with Ernie Manouse, Celeste Díaz Schurman, and Frank Billingsley. For the latest in local news, subscribe to the Hello Houston daily newsletter at houstonpublicmedia.org. Hello Houston is a production of Houston Public Media. The opinions expressed by the guests of this program are solely their own and do not represent the views of management, staff, or underwriters of Houston Public Media. This is News 88.7.
Houston Public Media, in partnership with Texas Southern University, brings to you The Vibe. R&B, hip-hop, and neo-soul. Music that resonates with all ages. The Vibe on 88.7 HD3 and on the Houston Public Media app.
Support comes from St. John's College in Santa Fe, offering a great books education with a January start, allowing early high school grads and those taking a gap semester to be sophomores by fall. St. John's College. More at sjc.edu.
Sunny day, getting up to about 89 this afternoon. Right now, 83. This is your NPR station, KUHF, Houston News 88.7, a service of the University of Houston. It's 12 o'clock.
Just ahead on this hour of Hello Houston, New York Attorney General Letitia James has been indicted by a federal grand jury in Virginia. We'll discuss this and more as we continue diving into today's top stories. I'm Ernie Manouse. Also, with October being both National Women's Small Business Month and LGBTQ plus History Month, we'll be spotlighting two women at the intersection of identity, business, and advocacy, Tammi Wallace and Tamika Caston-Miller. Plus, our own Celeste Díaz Schurman will give you an intimate look at the Bayou City Arts Festival as she broadcasts live from Memorial Park. And as always, we want to hear from you. Give us a call or text 713-440-8870 or email us at talk@hellohouston.org. You can also watch us on YouTube simply by going to houstonpublicmedia.org.
Hello Houston is made possible in part by founding sponsors John Bradshaw and Kathy Sanders, and by gifts from listeners like you.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Janine Herbst. In Gaza, thousands of Palestinians are walking north back to their homes as the first phase of a peace plan from President Trump is underway. NPR's Aya Batrawi reports beyond the release of Palestinian detainees by Israel and hostages by Hamas, there's a lot of uncertainty over how this will unfold over the next 72 hours.
We are also looking to see whether Egypt's border with Gaza opens for heavy machinery to enter. That is going to be needed for Hamas to retrieve some of the bodies of hostages it holds that are buried, I believe, in different parts of Gaza. It's also needed to recover Palestinians from under the rubble of Israeli airstrikes, including one last night just before this deal was signed that struck a residential building in Gaza City. At least 40 people are missing under the rubble of that Israeli airstrike, rescue crews say.
NPR's Aya Batrawi. Meanwhile, Israel is expected to allow hundreds of trucks of UN aid into Gaza soon to reverse severe malnutrition and starvation, and Trump is expected in Egypt and Israel on Sunday. The Trump administration claims that assaults on ICE officers are up 1,000%. But they haven't provided any data or proof of this. Colorado Public Radio's Allison Sherry says a review of federal court filings also doesn't show proof.
The administration has not only claimed an eye-popping increase on assaults on federal immigration officers, but they've also assured the public that anyone who assaults an officer will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Colorado Public Radio looked nationally at federal court charges for assaults on federal officers and have seen an increase since Trump took office. Roughly 25% more cases have been filed against people for assaulting an ICE officer. A lot of those charges come from cities that have seen increased immigration enforcement, including Los Angeles. The administration has not commented, though, on how or where they're coming up with the 1,000%. For NPR News, I'm Allison Sherry in Denver.
President Trump is at Walter Reed Military Medical Center today for what the White House is calling a routine physical. As NPR's Tamara Keith reports, there's been a lot of focus lately on the president's health.
Trump is the oldest second-term president in U.S. history and has recently experienced swollen ankles and bruising on his hands. Today's visit comes 6 months after Trump's last annual physical. He told reporters this week he's feeling fine.
Physically, I feel very good. Mentally, I feel very good. You know, I did about 6-7 months ago, I do physicals. I like to, when I'm around, I like to check always early, always be early. It's a lesson for a lot of people.
In July, the White House said Trump had a common circulatory condition known as chronic venous insufficiency, but remains in excellent health. Tamara Keith, NPR News.
Wall Street's trading lower at this hour. The Dow is down 627 points. You're listening to NPR News.
Live from News 88.7 in Houston, I'm Alexandra Hart. A federal judge in Chicago has temporarily blocked the Trump administration from deploying Texas National Guard troops to Illinois. This is a 2-week restraining order. The judge cited, quote, no credible evidence that there is a danger of a rebellion in the state of Illinois, end quote. The judge also cited violations of the 10th and 14th Amendments. It's not immediately clear if the Texas National Guard members will stay in the state, according to the Houston Chronicle. They began patrolling in the greater Chicago area earlier this week. Houston ISD's Board of Managers voted unanimously to terminate Michelle Williams late Thursday night. She's a third-grade teacher and the union president of the Houston Education Association. She was assigned home duty with pay at the end of August for insubordination and, quote, failure to follow campus protocols. This is the second time HISD has tried to terminate Williams. She was removed from her classroom last year but was ordered by a court to be reinstated. She plans to appeal but says it's not to get back into the classroom.
The first time it was about, going back, but this time it's just clearing my name because I didn't do anything wrong.
Houston ISD did not immediately respond to a request for comment. A significant number of Texas voters who voted for Donald Trump for president in 2024 would not do so if the election were held today. The University of Houston's Hobby School of Public Affairs and Texas Southern University found that 56% of respondents polled immediately after last year's election voted for Trump. The latest poll showed that just 49% would vote for him now. Rice University political scientist Mark Jones is co-author of the survey.
What that suggests is that Donald Trump has lost considerable ground among Texas voters, with that decline being most noteworthy among independent voters, where it declined by 20%, Gen Z voters, where it declined by 16%, and Latino voters, where it declined by 12%.
Jones says the drop in support among Latino voters could have a significant negative effect on Republican efforts to pick up Texas congressional seats as a result of the recent mid-decade round of redistricting. I'm Alexandra Hart, News 88.7.
Support for NPR comes from ARM, committed to delivering innovative, advanced computing designed to enable worldwide companies to unleash the capabilities and experiences of AI. The future of AI is built on ARM. ARM.com. This is NPR.
Live from Houston Public Media and News 88.7, it's Hello Houston, an open forum on today's biggest stories affecting Houston and beyond. Call now, 713-440-8870, or let us know your thoughts on today's topics by emailing us at talk@hellohouston.org. And now, Hello Houston with Ernie Manouse, Celeste Díaz Schurman, and Frank Billingsley.
Hello there, Houston.
Hello, Houston. Celeste is not in studio to give us the date. And it's such a
what
great.
Day is it?
It's 10/10/25.
10/10/25, Friday, October 10th. And because it's Friday, some people start their weekends early. As a matter of fact, Celeste Díaz Schurman is out at Memorial Park for the Bayou City Arts Festival. Let's see how she's doing. Hello there, Celeste.
Hi, friends. Yeah, I'm out here at the Bayou City Arts Festival, and I gotta say, I definitely got the great gig today. It's a beautiful day.
If folks
to be
are watching
outside
on YouTube, they can see you surrounded by flowers and people and art and beauty.
Yeah, it looks so peaceful out there.
It is, and there's like this kind of cool breeze happening. The sun is starting to peek out, and it's a beautiful day in Houston to be out in our city. And, we've been walking around and looking at some of the art, and it's interesting because people are definitely starting to show up. And I ran into two very special people. I'm here with Joanne and John Woodward, and they have been coming to this festival now for 25 years. And they have a very unique story, and I love being out in our community and hearing some of these stories. So Joanne, tell me, you guys don't just come to this festival. There's also a reason behind you all coming. Tell me about that.
We love to support the art community and anything that Houston has to offer. And this is a really incredible special festival that they do twice a year. We love Memorial Park. And we want to support small businesses, and we want to support the art community. Artists from all over the country attend, and we have certainly filled our house with many pieces.
But we have to tell everybody about it's your anniversary. Yes. Congratulations! And talk to me why it's special to come on your anniversary and what that connection's meant for you all.
Well, we love art, and that's something we definitely have in common. We're celebrating our 25th wedding anniversary, and we had met 3 years before that, so we were coming, actually it's 28 years, honey. Yeah. But we, every year that we come, we purchase a piece for our home. And we like to have experiences, which this definitely is a fabulous experience, meeting all these different people, seeing what they're offering. And the other thing is to see it in our home and to remind us why we still have really good memories of where we got it, who the artist was, and many times the artist will come to our home to install the pieces.
That's amazing. So you guys have been coming for, years now, and you've really seen how the festival has evolved. Talk to us a little bit about that and what y'all have noticed throughout the years.
Well, what's very exciting is that even today, we bought pieces from Elaine Rose, who has been an artist here, I don't know how many years, and to see she and her husband still here. But there are so many new artists and new faces and the techniques. And I mean, we look at each other and say, oh my gosh, how do they think about these things? They are very, artistic, but incredibly unique and beautiful. And I'm glad to see this festival continuing to grow, continuing to change, and to see new artists and to see old artists that didn't come. COVID really clobbered, the world. And it was very sad that, there wasn't a festival.
Sure. Now, John, who gets to decide on the piece of art?
It's usually a mutual decision, but there's somebody that has a major say-so.
Yeah. And when you guys are looking at pieces and you're thinking about your home, how do you all decide, is there a technique that you like? Is there a specific genre of art that you're into?
We're open to everything. We have artwork that's in the backyard and the front yard. We have wall paintings, and we have clothing and watches and things like that we've bought over the years. It's not any one specific genre. I mean, we have everything from Native American to modern art to wrought iron sculptures, acrylic artwork.
Paper art.
Well, I did notice that you're wearing a beautiful shirt. And we were talking about it a while ago about you actually bought that here.
I did. We bought it from Isabel, and I have also some gorgeous silk pieces from her. And now I can look back and say, I knew you when, because she just had a huge show in Chicago and is getting ready to have a show in France. And to me, I get goosebumps. It's very exciting to see these people grow and to say they got their start in Houston.
And it's interesting that you bring up getting a start here. I think sometimes when people think about collecting art, they think it's very expensive. It's not necessarily accessible. Why is Bayou City Arts Festival unique in that regard?
Whether we buy something that's $20 or several $1,000s. They have something for everyone. And every single year that we come, we do our Christmas shopping and our Hanukkah shopping. I'm Jewish, he's Catholic. We have the whole gamut covered. And our grandchildren are very artistic. We bring them when we can. Today they're in school. But we really, appreciate that there is something for everyone, and that shouldn't scare people off. Take an Uber, take a bus, take your bike, come, because it's just phenomenal.
Well, Joanne and John Woodward, thank you so much for joining us on Hello Houston, and congratulations. Happy anniversary. But you know, guys, Frank and Ernie, this is a perfect example of people come out and just kind of spend their weekend here. And it doesn't feel stuffy. It doesn't feel, unattainable. It actually feels really great. And I see families walking around. The Health Museum of Houston is out here. They have a craft area for kids to sit and play. I got an amazing coffee from Grisolfi's Coffee. It's just a vibe,
Celeste,
and I love it.
Let me pause you for one quick second before your couple walks away. For Frank and me, wish them a very happy 25th anniversary.
Thank you.
Yes, Frank and Ernie both. Frank Billingsley and Ernie Manouse both wish you both 25 happy anniversary.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, Celeste. You got a lot more for us coming up this hour, don't you?
Yes. So Jonah Ballard is going to be joining me, and he is the featured artist here at the Bayou City Arts Festival. And that's a real, experience to be able to have that title at an event like this. But yeah, sure. I'm going to send it back to you guys, but I'm going to continue walking around.
Okay,
yeah,
we'll talk
fun.
to you in a little bit. Thank you, Celeste.
All right, thanks, guys.
I know, and it just looks so fun. I wish, when the show's over, we can go over there and hang out. What do you say?
Okay, guess what? Guess what?
What?
Galveston's crosswalks, as of yesterday, have been painted over.
To catch you up, we were talking in the first hour about the Rainbow Crosswalk in Montrose that the governor has said needs to be painted over and removed, and we brought up the ones in Galveston, and Frank got the update.
Yep, and also somebody called me out. Frank, calm down. This is too petty to waste your time on. Governor Abbott has nothing else important to think of but a crosswalk.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that probably, but Julie says, sorry, Frank, I guess they wanted to take care of it before the Pride Parade down in Galveston, but have no fear, that will not stop us from celebrating.
Yeah, we got a lot of attention, a lot of reaction to our questions about the crosswalk, but then coming up this hour, we may continue the conversation.
Yes, we may, and you know what? I've come up with a solution.
Oh, Frank's got the answer.
Sidewalks. Sidewalks are the responsibility of the property owner that is in front of the sidewalk. So if your sidewalk needs repairing, the city ain't going to come do it. It's up to you. So it's your sidewalk. The owners are responsible for building and repairing sidewalks in front of the properties. The land on which sidewalks are built is typically part of the public right-of-way, which is public property. However, this does not relieve the property owner of the maintenance responsibility. Paint your sidewalks in rainbows, people.
There you go, Frank. You've got like one initiative after another. You're making America again.
Yes.
And now you're having people paint their sidewalks.
Right. We're here to take action. You can't be quiet.
It's going to be a busy fall if you follow Frank. So you can jump into that. Also, what I was alluding to is that October is National Women's Small Business Month. It's also LGBTQ History Month. And coming up this hour, we're going to be spotlighting two women at the intersection of identity, business, and advocacy. So that's coming up still. Celeste, as we mentioned, is out at the Bayou City Arts Festival, which is a proud sponsor of Houston Public Media. And she'll be coming to us a little later with their featured artist this year.
And the weather is so beautiful. It's going to be a great weekend for the art festival. Friday night football, tomorrow night in Galveston, which has no painted crosswalk now, as Art Walk. So, weirdly, on Art Walk weekend, they paint over the art. I know. I know.
Well, the art got up and walked over to the festival. And I have my movie night, but it's still going to be a nice outdoor night.
Your movie night is going to be spectacular for Son of Frankenstein.
Just checking. Checking. You know, Son of Frankenstein was what inspired Gene Wilder to write with Mel Brooks Young Frankenstein. Yeah. A lot of people think it's just a takeoff of Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein, but no. Watch Son of Frankenstein.
I didn't know that. Interesting.
The whole,
how many do you have coming for this spectacular?
I don't know. I send out big invite lists, and so it could be anywhere from 6 of us to 40. I have no idea.
Good Lord. How do you plan for, you want how many, 300 hot dogs?
160 hot dogs.
160 hot dogs.
Yes.
You could just give everybody your address right now and see who shows up.
You know what the nice thing is? I'm not doing it at my house. I'm doing it at someone else's house. Oh, there's the rub. Okay, speaking of the rub, let's get into the headlines. From NPR, we found out a federal grand jury in Virginia has indicted New York Attorney General Letitia James on charges of bank fraud and making a false statement to a financial institution. The case centers on a 2020 property purchase in Norfolk, Virginia, Prosecutors allege James misrepresented the home as a secondary residence, a detail that they claim secured her more favorable mortgage terms, while in fact she rented it out. They argue she saved nearly almost $20,000 in interest or benefits. James, a longtime political advisor adversary of President Trump, previously sued him and won a major civil ruling. That a judgment was overturned on appeal. Her critics say the new charges follow intense pressure from Trump, who has publicly demanded her prosecution. James rejects the accusations, calling them politically motivated. Her lawyers promised to fight them vigorously. James is due in court later this month. That's the story. Here's the question. What do you think? Is this a legitimate case or not? Should she have been indicted in this case, or should she face the consequences? Remember, I think that's the same question. Remember, she is one who famously said after going after Trump, no one is above the law. Is she above the law? Did she break the law? What do you think? 713-440-8870. A lot of moving pieces in that one.
Well, and Pam Bondi, during her confirmation hearings, said specifically the Justice Department would not have an enemies list.
Yes.
Well, that seems to be untrue.
Well, it seems to be untrue because the president seemed to have tweeted or Twittered or X'd or messaged out something that was supposed to be a private conversation with him and Pam Bondi, listing the people he wanted Pam Bondi to go after.
Yes.
So that makes it a little harder to say it isn't politically motivated. But in all fairness, if she broke the law, she should be held accountable for that, just like if the president broke the law, he should be held accountable for it. But to search through everything you can get through to find something where there may have been a problem so you can go after someone does not seem worthy of the federal government or their time or these attorneys generals or any of that. So,
yeah, well, I mean, I'm surprised that this would even come up. I mean, secondary residences are pretty well looked at. Mm-hmm. And you don't just get to say, oh, yeah, this is a primary residence when it's not. So I'm surprised this could even happen. And I guess she says it didn't happen.
Well, there's a little wrinkle in the story. And we've been looking into this, and we are still trying to find an answer to it. All of this will probably come out with the court filings or when they actually get to court, if they get to court with it. But the thing is, on the initial form, it seems she indicated primary residence. And in subsequent filings, there was an email, there was notes that this would not be a residence. The question that I have that I can't find the answer to is, when did those additional filings happen? Were they in the same period of time as the original purchase was going on? Were they a year later? Were they 6 months ago when the pressure was on? When exactly did these additional filings come? If you had, I bought a house recently, you sign a whole lot of papers, one right after another. Then you go home and you look through them. And if you look through them and you say, wait a minute, this is check that, and this is sign that, this is wrong, I'll submit a letter to the file to clarify. That's a different situation than waiting a number of years and then the heat is on and you have to do something about it. So if somebody can tell me what happened there, then I can
Maybe they
rest
can.
at ease.
Give us a call if you know the answer.
713-440-8870. That was one story. Let's go back to our crosswalk story because we got a lot of concern about that one before. Davis from Upper Kirby is on the line. Davis, what are you thinking today?
Hey, good afternoon, y'all. Long-time listener, first-time caller. I really want to thank y'all for covering this story. I've also had a lot of friends tell me what they've been telling you, Frank. Well, there are more important issues to talk about, but this is literally our symbols being erased, right? And so, Frank, you mentioned an idea about chalk on about sidewalks, and I've actually just yesterday purchased so many sticks and powdered chalk to actually do a community chalk sidewalk gathering this Sunday at 7 p.m. at where the Montrose Rainbow Crosswalks are, so that it's completely legal, like you mentioned. It'll be on the sidewalks. It won't be on the roadways. Because my dream is for rainbow flags, rainbows all along Westheimer, because they can take down our crosswalks, but we're not going anywhere.
I love that. That's thank you so much for the call and for the idea. I think you hit the nail on the head. If you start erasing symbols, no matter what they are, Then you start to wipe out people's thoughts and ideologies, and you make them invisible. You try to make them invisible, and that's what they're trying to do to gay people. They're trying to make us invisible, and I mean, we've got to stand up to it.
And an argument can be made if you do apply this fairly across the board and say, do not put any kind of signaling of any type into public roadways, then it has to be withheld throughout the entire system. You cannot choose and pick which expressions of personality and belief are allowed and which ones aren't. Let's be fair in what we say. And so, if you can step over to the sidewalks and put these out there, go for it. If you are going to allow some public statement on roadways, then this is wrong. I mean, right. Yeah, we got to find the balance. Thank you very much for that, Davis. And if I'm not mistaken, it's at Taft and Westheimer is where the crosswalk was. And I believe that's where you guys are going to be with your chalk and all of that stuff going on.
Jose Joaquin says, rainbow painted street markings distract the drivers. What a joke. Let's educate the drivers to drive on the right and use the left lane for passing.
Ellen Cohen was on the phone earlier. She called in. She was councilwoman in that district when this went on. And the whole idea was that it was to highlight where these crosswalks are because somebody had been killed there. And they wanted to make sure that people were aware that's a crosswalk. And so that gave notice when you were driving. You would see it from a distance. So
that's a good point.
Yeah, a very good point. Okay, a couple days that are going on. I love giving the days. It is October 10th, as we said, 10/10/25, World Mental Health Day. It is Angel Food Cake Day. Where are you on Angel Food Cake?
It's too spongy for me.
There you go. A lovely, educated response to that question.
And I think that fruit is for pie, not for cake.
All right. Well, you know what? Today is also National Cake Decorating Day. So leave the angel food behind and go decorate a real cake. How do you feel about that? My mom, well, actually, I won an award in 6th grade for maybe it was, sixth grade, best cake decorating. And actually my mom did it, and it was brilliant. She did the mask of Tutankhamun, and she painted it out with food coloring into the frosting. If I can find a picture somewhere, I will post that. It was amazing.
Nice.
How they thought a 6-year-old did it, I have no idea, but my mom was the one who did it. Okay, we got a lot still to come on the show. I don't know why I slammed my hands down. We have a lot coming up on the show today, so stay with us. There is more of Hello Houston coming up shortly, and this is News 88.7. When we come back, National Women's Small Business Month and LGBTQ History Month meet at the intersection of Hello Houston. Coming up right after this. What do you point? Houston Public Media is asking for you to listen to what we have to say. We know there's so much fun in the last hour. Let's do another match. How does that sound? You got about 35 more minutes, and we will match your donation.
100 means 200.
To us, it does. All you have to do is, make that same gift, and we will take care of the rest. Stories like the ones you just heard are made possible by you, and we mean that. 100% of Houston Public Media's support comes entirely from you, and your support is the reason this station exists. So give today and have it doubled right now for the next 33 minutes at HoustonPublicMedia.org/donate, or give us a call, 888-909-0887. I'm Ernie Manouse.
I'm Frank Billingsley, and I have some other names, Ernie.
Okay.
Matthew, Catherine, John, and Melinda have all taken advantage of the match. So join Matthew, Catherine, John, and Melinda. Sounds like the Beatles, doesn't it? Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, right? How do you put a price tag on the truth? Think about what you've heard on News 88.7. You discover, you learn, you gain new perspectives every time you listen. Please make a gift to Houston Public Media to keep it all coming your way. Give any amount. We're going to match it. Give it HoustonPublicMedia.org/donate, or give us a call, 888-909-0887.
Support Houston Public Media with a $60 gift right now, which, as we mentioned, will be doubled. And choose tickets as your thank you gift to News and Brews at St. Arnold's Brewery on, you have to plan ahead, February 17th, 2026. You get to join me and Frank and Celeste, the whole Hello Houston team, and our other news reporters and anchors for an evening of conversation, tasty bites, and craft brews. It's your chance to meet the people behind the mic and celebrate the journalism journalism you rely on every day. But the only way you can get in is if you get a ticket. The only way to get a ticket is to make a gift right now at HoustonPublicMedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887.
We're grateful that you're tuning in to Hello Houston.
Hello, I'm Bob Maniger from the Ed and Jean Matthews Foundation. PBS has been a part of our family for generations, and we are proud supporters of Houston Public Media. From PBS Kids programming that supports children and their parents to PBS NewsHour that we rely on to learn about what's going on in our world. Your support keeps PBS available for our community across Greater Houston. Give now at HoustonPublicMedia.org/donate.
Frustrating. It was tedious work. There were flies biting me. I was, elbow deep in this mix of brain and water.
A peek into the stinky, sticky, and sometimes tasty world of experimental archaeology. All on Science Friday from WNYC Studios.
Support comes from Laporte CPAs and Business Advisors, an independent accounting and business advisory firm serving clients for more than 75 years, with 190 employees across offices in Houston, New Orleans, and other locations. More information at laporte.com. Support for Houston Public Media comes from ROCO, opening the Unchambered series featuring flutist Brooke Ferguson and Rebecca Powell Garfield, October 11th at St. Philip Presbyterian Church. Tickets at roco.org.
Support for Houston Public Media comes from Certa Pro Painters, offering residential and commercial painting services, from color consultations to full project management. Estimates and more at CertaPro.com.
Houston Public Media, in partnership with Texas Southern University, brings to you The Vibe. R&B, hip-hop, and neo-soul. Music that resonates with all ages. The Vibe on 88.7 HD3 and on the Houston Public Media app.
And now back to Hello Houston. To share your thoughts on any of today's topics, call 713-440-8870 or email us at talk@hellohouston.org. Now here's Ernie Manouse, Celeste Díaz Schurman, and Frank Billingsley.
October is both National Women's Small Business Month and LGBTQ History Month. According to the Small Business Credit Survey, 34% of LGBTQ-owned businesses are also women-owned, highlighting the dynamic role that women play in shaping inclusive entrepreneurship. Today, we're spotlighting the women at the intersection of identity, business, and advocacy. Joining us are two members of the Houston's LGBTQ+ business community, Tammi Wallace, co-founder and president and CEO of the Greater Houston LGBTQ+ Chamber of Commerce, and Tamika Caston-Miller, co-owner and director of The Ranch in Houston. Welcome. We're so glad you're here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so tell us, what do we need to know about the LGBTQ Chamber of Commerce and how it's affecting places like The Ranch?
Yeah, well, first of all, Tamika and Lenny, her wife, incredible members of ours. We have about 554 members as of today.
We need to join. Kevin and I own a gym.
Yes.
I know.
You got to join.
I don't know what I'm thinking.
Yes.
I don't own anything, so I'll just sit here.
Wait, now, we have professional memberships, just saying.
Okay, all right.
And that goes to, we built over the last almost 10 years this LGBTQ+ economic ecosystem. It includes small businesses like the Ranch Houston, large companies, think, big, everything from oil companies, Comcast, et cetera, and professionals, plus nonprofits, which are a key part of our ecosystem, and then professionals and young professionals. And that's what we're doing to drive economic opportunity.
So the Ranch is a women's club, right?
No.
You correct me. Okay, what is it?
The Ranch Houston began as a third space on the south side to be a space where LGBTQ+ and BIPOC people could gather and grow in a place that didn't center alcohol or anger. So it wasn't a bar or it wasn't a protest. We started thinking about how do we gather that's in a space that is sober and not like a religious community or something like that. But I will say that people started thinking, are you like a compound? And we're like, no, we're like a commune. So, but then, and so then we became a community garden, so that people could learn how to grow food. This is in 2020. So this is when everyone is outside. And then from there, we added yoga. So then it became a space for yoga, and we still do yoga out there. Ultimately, now what we are is a flower farm because we actually had to pay our bills, and we realized that, like a community garden is not a great business plan. So we became a flower farm so we could sell something that was beautiful, that the people that our community that were coming to help us grow, they weren't doing something utilitarian. It wasn't about growing food, which was like a stopgap measure of something that was really important. It is important, and there are a lot of other people who can do that. So flowers, we wanted beauty.
Well, I had that wrong. I thought it was a lesbian bar, but
I mean,
what do I know?
It could be. I mean, meet your future partner.
You're dating back to the Ranch Houston, which I visited a couple of times.
Well, there is a bar that is called The Ranch, and every rodeo season we get tagged in posts, and people are like, drunken at this bar. We're like, no, that's not it.
I need some flowers.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Let me pull this back a little bit, and I'm sure there's people that are curious and wondering, and either of you or both of you can answer this. Why does there need to be a small business gathering initiative that then has LGBTQ plus in today's day and age connected with it, as opposed to just a small business bureau?
So I'll give you a great example. When we started the chamber, like I said, almost 10 years ago, we started growing. People started saying, I love this chamber. I love it. And we started asking, what is it that you love about the chamber? And they said, when we get in here, magic happens. When we get in here, we feel completely accepted. I often tell people that business owners like Tamika and Lenny, they can just let down that armor when they come into our space. It's an open, inclusive, and welcoming space centered around helping businesses to grow, but ultimately helping our business community and our community as a whole grow and thrive.
Also, there's intersectionality built in, because LGBTQ plus people, we're not all the same, right? And we have different backgrounds and things like that. And I think that the chamber and businesses need to acknowledge that. There's not a constant coming out. Everyone kind of expects everyone to have a same-sex partner. And it's even though that sounds silly, there's an amount of safety built into that so that we don't have to constantly mask or, this is my partner. Is this person going to be accepted? Everyone can see that I'm a Black woman, but they can't necessarily see that I have a female partner. And so that kind of weird space of being uncomfortable in business spaces is removed.
I think the diversity you refer to is our strength as a group, because when we were all coming out, 20 years ago, everyone knew someone, whether you were Black or female or white or male or Hispanic. I mean, it's either a father that was gay or a sister or an uncle or a brother or a friend. And when you start to know someone that you care about is gay, you become accepting of it.
Yes. Right.
So I think that's where we really get our strength, is by not all being alike.
Right.
This may seem like a pretty obvious question too, but how does having that freedom in yourself and self-expression benefit the business and the business community once you feel complete in who you are?
Well, Tamika can certainly weigh in as a business owner, but what we see overall, the confidence that people have. When you come into our space and you're with like-minded people that support you, and by the way, a third of our members are allies. When you come into our space, you get to just focus on your business, not, as Tamika said, having to think about what you say, vetting every word. Literally focus on business and running your company.
So where is your space?
Well, so we are technically a regional chamber. We are as far as Galveston.
Oh, yeah, I love Galveston.
We're building
more flags on the sidewalks, but I love Galveston.
We're building up in Galveston. We're as far as, we do events as far as Montgomery County, but we're all over the region because, again, we're a regional chamber. Now, our office is in Midtown inside one of our incredible partners and members, Sesh Co-working, which is an inclusive co-working space supporting women, BIPOC entrepreneurs, and LGBTQ plus entrepreneurs.
And so you meet once a month and have guest speakers?
Boy, we meet more than...
We're meeting all the time.
Go ahead.
We are very active because it is still a queer space. So we're always getting together for food or fun, but it is always centering how do we grow together, how do we collaborate together, how do we build relationships so that we can grow more easily. and the masks are down, and masking is exhausting. Yeah. So having all of these different opportunities to get together, whether it be for tea or coffee or the chamber breakfast, which is huge, it makes a huge difference to be able to come together in a variety of ways.
Automatically, I would assume over the course of years, this has all gotten better and better. Mm-hmm. But in today's environment, are we seeing pushback? Is the growth that maybe over the history of the chamber that was feeling good and heading in a right direction may have been altered and shifted? And how do you combat that if that's the case?
Yeah, the chamber is still growing. What we're finding is entrepreneurs and just the community in general, they need a space. We do about 140 events a year. At any given month, you can be part of what we're doing at the chamber, whether you own a business or not. So we're seeing that demand. We're working with some of our larger companies. We obviously know what's going on in this political climate, but we have a lot of companies that are working with us. Their employees are committed. We work directly through our LGBTQ plus Workplace Alliance with LGBTQ plus employee resource groups.
Mm-hmm. You don't have to name any names, but do you endorse political candidates?
We do not.
Okay.
I wish they would.
Do you have an opinion on this?
We've thought about it, and some chambers do, both mainstream and LGBTQ plus chambers, but we have the caucus, a long-time 50-year organization in the city, and that is their primary directive, is to endorse pro-equality candidates.
Tamika, to you, the same question that I asked Tammy a little bit ago about, are we still moving in a positive direction? Are you seeing a negative pullback? If so, how are we combating that?
We're definitely moving in a positive direction, and it is more difficult. So I think that the positive direction is that we understand that collaboration is key. And there's kind of a feeling of circling the wagons. So recently I received a request for funereal flowers from our floral arm. And the person was saying, I really want to support a BIPOC LGBTQ plus business in this environment. I specifically looked for that. So there is a circling of the wagons feeling where people are just like, how do we make ourselves more safe and more sustainable, and allies have become more important, and we're all working with less funding. We're all working with more pushback.
Well, there have been a few court cases about cake people that wouldn't make a cake for a gay couple. Yeah. When you hear and see that, I can't imagine it would even cross your mind not to give everyone full service.
I would love to agree with you, but I will say that if there was someone who I knew was really challenging to our community, I would be like, you know what, that cake lady? No, I'm just joking. But I will say that it is challenging for me to help create beauty for people who are directly creating a more inhospitable environment for LGBTQ plus people. However, I'm always going to lead with love and compassion because I know that that's actually what's missing. Everyone is just looking for community. Unfortunately, there's a community that's rallied around hatred and pain. And in order to offset that, we really need to rally around compassion and empathy. So because that's where my ethos is grounded and rooted, I'm always going to lead from that place. But I will say that I understand people feeling a fear or an animosity towards a particular group. I just couldn't ever let that dictate who I am as a person.
Bravo. I love that. Let me ask you, Tammy, you go to a lot of really kind of gay places like Provincetown or Key West. You see a lot of gay flags and a lot of businesses saying, we're a gay-friendly business. I don't see that a lot in Houston.
Yeah,
Am I missing it, or is this not there?
You're not missing it. Historically, we've not been as vocal and visible in terms, look at the arts, look at all kinds of things in terms of just visibility. Think about a tourist coming to our city, and where are they seeing this? And we had some of that historically in the neighborhood. Montrose has changed a lot.
It's gotten too expensive for everybody.
Yeah, to say the least. But that's something that we're working on, along with some other community leaders, is how do we look at that and maintain, visibility? But You're absolutely right, but it's not just pride flags. It's not just pride and LGBTQ visibility. It's policies and it's other things that we need to be working on to close gaps.
I remember the gay yellow pages. Remember those?
Yes.
You know, many small businesses and a lot of people that want to start them are all very concerned because so many fail in the first few years.
Yep.
I'm curious what you see are the most common pratfalls that maybe women or LGBTQ business owners fall into, the traps they fall into that limit their ability to prosper.
One, just with particularly LGBTQ people, but even other marginalized entrepreneurs, the confidence piece is just not having the confidence piece. And what I tell people is, if you want to be here, you've got to align yourself with people that are here, and that means getting a mentor, getting someone to support you, getting the right, resources in that case, and not having a solid business plan. Not one that's pie in the sky, but a solid business plan so you can talk about how you're going to fund this. And many entrepreneurs, as we know, particularly women, fund out of their own pockets, right? So what are you going to do to maintain stability while you grow the business?
I'd add flexibility, especially hearing your story, Tamika, about, you listen to the environment, you shifted and changed to address it.
We have to be able to respond to the macro environment because it's always going to be impacting us. But the thing is so many people are really not thinking about their social capital and how their network is actually informing the success or failure of their businesses.
Do you still get breaks as a female or a person of color just on starting up, or is that not?
Not anymore.
Not anymore. That's
no. It's more challenging for women to get capital. There's only 2% of venture funds typically that go to women.
But you can help negotiate that for people.
Yeah, it's still a man's world, right? In a lot of ways in our country.
Yeah,
and,
they're painting over the crosswalks. Those men.
If someone is listening right now, the biggest impact they could make immediately is to start a venture capitalist firm that is specifically going to focus on BIPOC and LGBTQ plus people.
All right.
That would immediately impact our world and women. So.
Well, thank you all for being here. Tammi Wallace is the co-founder and president and CEO of the Greater Houston LGBTQ plus PARTY Chamber of Commerce. Yep. And Tamika Caston-Miller is the co-owner and director of The Ranch in Houston, not a lesbian bar, a flower place, okay? Just so everyone's clear. Tammi and Tamika, you're so kind to be here and give us some of your time today. Thank you.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
Still to come, Celeste is still at the Bayou Arts Festival. She's going to be with us shortly, right after this quick break. You're listening to Hello Houston. You have, I was going to say 18 minutes. You've got 14 and a half minutes to take advantage of our match currently going on. Every story we cover, every local show we produce, that's all possible because of who? Because of you. We need your help to keep independent reporting strong. Houston Public Media is now completely community supported. You heard that right. We are now completely community supported. And that's different for us. And that's why we're turning to you. It's difficult. It's hard, but we can do it. Right now, make your gift and support the station you rely on and get your news from. It's right here, houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887. I'm Ernie Manouse.
And I'm Frank Billingsley. If you've never given to Houston Public Media before, this is your moment. Your very first gift to the station that you rely on directly supports trusted news, inspiring stories, and NPR programs that educate and uplift. Especially now, with this loss of federal funding, every new member really does make a real difference. So please make your first gift to our station today at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call us at 888-909-0887.
Why not make that first gift a $60 gift, and then you can get tickets to News and Brews, one of our most popular events of the year. It takes place at St. Arnold's Brewing Company on Brewing
St. Arnold's
Brewing Company. I'm having trouble speaking today. February 17th, 2026. I'll be there. You can see what I'll mispronounce there. Along with the Hello Houston team, you'll enjoy brews and bites and conversation with listeners just like you. It's your chance to meet the hosts and the newsroom behind the stories you love. But the only way to get tickets is make that donation, so don't wait. Make that gift right now. HoustonPublicMedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887.
Yep, mark it down, February 17th, 2026. It will come a lot faster than you think. So in a world of political spin, our newsroom sticks to the facts. They go beyond the headlines, explaining what new laws actually mean. And they give you the context to make sense of it all. So you deserve clarity, not noise. This is journalism for the public good. If you double your donation now, that's what we're going to do. Whatever you give us, $100, we'll make it $200. $5, we'll make it $10. So please go to HoustonPublicMedia.org/donate or call us 888-909-0887.
I'm María Hinojosa. Next time on Latino.
Hi, I'm Michael Schaefer. My partner Ellen and I have been proud supporters of public radio and TV for decades.
We really would be lost without our daily fix of unbiased national and local news, cultural programming, and great entertainment.
But with recent federal defunding, stations like Houston Public Media face real challenges.
Now's the time to step up.
Give now at HoustonPublicMedia.org.
Thank you.
Your brain will get tired after a while. That doesn't happen when you're looking at nature.
So you don't often hear people say, oh, I can't look at that beautiful waterfall anymore. It's just too breathtaking. I'm just too tired looking at it.
How understanding different types of attention could help us focus better.
Listen to The Pulse Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock.
We're grateful that you're tuning in to Hello Houston.
You're here because of the hosts, the chemistry, and the variety of voices and stories you hear every day.
This kind of radio doesn't just happen. It's made possible by listener support. That means you. Help keep the conversation going.
Now is the time to give at HoustonPublicMedia.org/donate.
Houston Public Media presents The Moth Story Slam, October 14th at Lambert Hall. Doors open at 7 p.m. The theme of the night is masks. Tell a story about disguises. Tickets at HoustonPublicMedia.org/The Moth.
Support comes from John Moore, helping with plumbing, electrical, and air conditioning repairs, including out-of-warranty units since 1965. Details at 730-2525 or at johnmooreservices.com.
And now back to Hello Houston. To comment on any of today's topics, call 713-440-8870 or email us at talk@hellohouston.org. And now here's Ernie Manouse, Celeste Díaz Schurman, and Frank Billingsley.
If you are not watching us today on our YouTube channel, which you can access at HoustonPublicMedia.org, you are missing a whole lot because right now we're going back to Celeste Díaz Schurman, who is at the Bayou City Arts Festival, standing in front of some great artwork. Celeste, I'm throwing it to you. Take it away. I'm going to jump in here for 1 minute. We're going to just audio there. We'll see. Let me know, and we can toss back to Celeste out there. One of the cool things about Celeste doing this on Friday is this is our last minute plans. And if you haven't made plans to do something, from what I've seen from where Celeste is, there's a lot to do at the Bayou City Arts Fest. So we encourage that you consider that. Other things that are going on, we told you about the Flamenco Journey that is going to be happening, and that's tonight and tomorrow night over at the Hobby Center for their Founders Club series. Also, you may not know this, but Keith Urban, he seems to have been in the news lately. He'll be in concert at the Cynthia Woods Mitchell Pavilion coming up on Saturday night as well. And Whole Earth Provision Company will present Bringing the Outdoors In. It's a free event, which is there you can meet exotic animals such as a baby kangaroo, a python, and more. And that's from 11 to 2. We're going to check back in and see how Celeste, I hope she doesn't meet any snakes out there in the park today. Nope, I'm still not hearing Celeste. But if you were looking at her, she's still smiling. She still looks happy. She's showing me the artwork. She's showing me a cactus, some Wonder Bread.
Out at the Bayou City Art Festival. It's been around 53 years, I think.
Yeah.
It started in Montrose, went downtown, then went to Memorial Park. And now it's twice a year, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It happens in both locations, both downtown and in Memorial Park. At this time of the year, it's over in Memorial Park. What I like about this is we're getting to see this great artwork, but if you're just listening on the radio, you're not seeing anything.
I know, you should go to YouTube.
Always remember our YouTube channel. I also want to mention over at the Botanic Garden on Sunday, which it's still going to be nice on Sunday.
It's going to be a beautiful weekend. Absolutely stunning.
Monarchs and Marigolds is going to be happening there at their event. What are you doing this weekend? You're going down for the art walk in Galveston.
Yes, we have a couple friends from San Antonio, and they're on their way, and so we're going to go hang out with them tonight, and then we'll go to art walk tomorrow night. Got a little reservation for Rudy and Paco's, which is one of my favorites down there. It's so good. And then I have my golf tournament on Monday, so I won't be here on Monday.
So Celeste and I will have to hold down the fort for one
I'll
day.
give you a call from the links if you want.
Okay.
This is my 15th year to have this golf classic, and really, it's raised. We're on track now. I heard last night we're at $436,000. We hope to raise another 70 at the tournament, so we'll get to $500,000, which is fabulous. It goes to all of those in-school programs to help keep kids healthy. And so we have a little guerrilla kickoff party Sunday night.
I guess you'll be there.
I'll be there for sure. And then we'll be at the tournament on Monday. So I'm excited.
Well, congratulations on the tour. How many years is this?
15. 15 years, and we've never been rained out, and it doesn't look like it's going to happen Monday either. We'll have a beautiful day on Monday.
Well, I'm going to tell you about a couple other things that are happening. First of all, if you are watching on the YouTube, and they do have it up, the art you're seeing is from
Jonah Ballard.
Jonah Ballard's artwork is up there, and he is the featured artist this year. Something else going on this weekend we were talking about on the show the other day, it is the Korean Festival Houston, and that's on Sunday over at the Post. Then there's the Houston International Festival.
That's the Filipino festival.
What did I say?
You said Korean.
Oh, there's a Korean festival all weekend. We also have the Filipino at the Post.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on.
There's so much
weekend.
going on. It's hard to keep up with for sure.
Houston International Festival 2025 Food, Music, Culture in Third Ward is also happening at this weekend. It is a busy weekend here in Houston, and I think we're not going to be able to get to Celeste.
Yeah, and the 51st Annual Texas Renaissance Festival, which seems like I've never been, but it just seems like it's every weekend for a year.
No, it's just in the fall, and it's just beginning this weekend, but it'll take you through either Thanksgiving or the weekend after Thanksgiving, something like that.
It goes on and on.
I love it. What I don't love is the parking.
They've always had that challenge, haven't they?
But you know what? Here's a challenge. How do we get out of this show? We get out by saying, thank you all for listening today.
Yeah, it's the weekend. Have a safe one, please.
We'll be back on Monday without Frank, but it'll be another good show here on Hello Houston. You are listening to News 88.7.
Well, we have just a few minutes to the top of the hour to have your donation matched. You rely on Houston Public Media for thoughtful reporting and insightful stories. Your support is what keeps that work going. We are fully supported by this community, by listeners like you who believe facts matter. That's why it's so important that we meet our goals for this campaign and that you make your gift right now. So make your gift at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887. I'm Frank Billingsley.
And I'm Ernie Manouse. You listen to this station, you value the service and information we provide. Now, take the next step and maybe it's your first donation. Become a member of Houston Public Media. It starts with just a single gift, and you can do it right now while it can be doubled. So hurry up. You've only got about 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes to do it. The gift helps fill the gap left by the federal funding cuts. We've got to pick up that slack to continue to give you the service you depend on. So join this community that keeps public media strong at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887.
And we have a party to invite you to. Your $60 gift lets you select tickets to News and Brews at St. Arnold Brewing Company on February 17th, 2026. You'll enjoy an evening of conversation, craft brews, tasty bites with me and Ernie and Celeste and the entire Hello Houston team. So you can meet the reporters and producers who bring you the stories that you count on every day, connect with fellow listeners. We do have a Q&A, so ask me anything you want. I can't wait to see you there. Make your gift now, HoustonPublicMedia.org/donate, or call 888-909-0887.
And we don't want to scare you away. The Houston Matters team will also be there. The full newsroom team will be there. You'll get to meet the anchors, the reporters, all those voices you're familiar with. Here's your chance to engage with us, but you got to have the ticket to do it. And right now, if you do it in the next 2.5 minutes, your gift of $60 will be doubled to our station. And just remember, before you vote, before you weigh in on issues, before you share that story, you need to trust your source. Our newsroom covers local, state, and national politics with honesty and depth. They ask the questions. They fact-check the answers. They follow the money. Right now, we're following the money to you. So double your donation at HoustonPublicMedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887.
In a city as dynamic as Houston, you need a source you can count on. Houston Public Media is here through every storm, every election, every moment that matters. It's a service built by and for this community, and it's your support that keeps it going. So stand with the news and stories that reflect Houston's strength. Double your gift now. 100 becomes 200, 10 becomes 20. HoustonPublicMedia.org/donate.
Thanks for listening to Hello Houston. Join us every Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. to talk all things Houston. The Hello Houston production team includes Garrett Bowman, William Menjivar, Jen Altide, Todd Holslander, and Jim Kovacic. For the latest in local news, subscribe to the Hello Houston daily newsletter at HoustonPublicMedia.org. Hello Houston is a production of Houston Public Media. The opinions expressed by the guests of this program are solely their own and do not represent the views of management, staff, or underwriters of Houston Public Media. This is News 88.7.
Support for Houston Public Media comes from St. John's College, a great books college, offering a January freshman program allowing students to be a sophomore by